Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for being here today, spending your hump day with us. Yeah, I fucked up the sound at the beginning. I was doing so good too. It's been like weeks since I fucked up the production side of things. And of course, I blew it today, so 0 days since last incident. Let's say hi to everybody, and then we'll get the show started here officially at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. And we've got a good one for you guys today. I'm so excited. Always get so excited for the last Wednesday of the month when we get now we get the whole crew from the No Prisoners podcast 45-1 actual and the fam going to be joining the panel. Very excited to have those guys on and kick it with us for a little while. So jump into chat wherever you're watching. We'll say hi to as many of you as we can. And then when we get to the top of the hour, we'll officially get started here. Powdered Sugar Q-Oys over on D Live hanging out with us. Good to see you all over there. Shout out to Joe Elaine modding the Rumble chat, hanging out with Norm, Hang 10, Alien Surfer over there. Hit that thumbs up button over on Rumble for us. And of course, pill.net, the exclusive place to watch hour number 2 of our broadcast today and every day. So if you're watching somewhere else, I highly recommend you find your way over there at some point in the next 60 minutes to make sure you don't miss anything. Let's see who's over there. I see Lance Lightspear. What's up, my friend? It is great to see you. D. Richard in the house. There's Lyle and Jenny, Packers 412. Good to see you all, as always. Floyd, Due Diligence. Delia down there in Arizona. What's up, Delia? HL Paco, Patriots 714. Good to see you guys there. Of course, is Joe Elaine modding that chat as well. Joe, you're the best. I so appreciate you and all the work you do to help keep things running smoothly around here. Kane Chris, what's going on? Floyd with a Wagyu Steak Wednesday cookie. Yes, that sounds amazing. There's Norm double dipping. Good to see you. Esther G13 hooking us up with some shades. Says, I'll be lurking and listening. Lots to do. Right on, Esther. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. Thank you for being here. Our Harold in the house. We got Barb Robbins out there as well. Roy Stones and Bones over on the West Coast. What's up, Roy? Tweety 52, Range Pony. Good to see you guys. Snow Bunny 68. General Buford, Matt Joker. What's up, guys? Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. I hope you're doing well. Floyd with a no sound cookie. Yeah, I know. I fucked up. All right. Oh man. Water Wizard, what's going on? Coffee Talk with Sandra. What's up, Sandra? It's great to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Fazic, and there's Pip's mom checking in from across the pond in Wales, UK. And there's Pensider over there across the pond as well. Shout out to all of our Patriots tuning in abroad. Appreciate you guys. Always fun to see how far our little broadcast can reach. Let's see, Down Home and Crockett Man 62 out there. Speaking of how far our broadcast can reach, I see Kaiman Molan Labe popping in from South Africa. Love to see it. Dave 75, Pat McFly, Secret Weapon, Sig your Dragon Slayer. Good to see all you guys out there. Kim Iowa in the house. Good to see you, Kim. Jenker 2. And Eagle Freedom, Truth Teller 101. Good to see you as well. Welcome, you guys. And did I get to the bottom of chat with all this time to spare? Ohio Kimmy, Brian 1871. Good to see you guys out there. I see Ikamia. That's a new one over on Rumble. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right. Well, I'm not going to waste any time here. We'll just get the intro going a little bit early, and hopefully all the pinata-holics out there tuning in for their daily torture find their way over here soon. We'll be right back, everybody. See you soon.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
y'all for tuning in. Patriots united, doing what we gotta do to win. Be evicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they can find. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, we're preaching with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just our lace in our boots. These demons all weaponized, now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the boot and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they wanna use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adol Nero. It is April 24th, 2024. 4/24/24. Okay, there's something to that. Anyway, what's up, guys? Good to be with the No Prisoners podcast, 45-1 actual, and Kevin's Chaotic Coffee up there as well. How we doing today, guys?
Doing great. Yeah, just extra fired up today. Busy as always, and always honored to be here on the Deplorable Discussions, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. It's always awesome to have the crew on. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Doing well and anxious to get into whatever you're about to get into, because we don't get show notes before we come on. It's just like fresh hell information, like as soon as we get here. So I'm ready for it.
I don't even know what we're getting into half the time until we start getting into it. That's kind of the fun of the show. Well, I think we're still waiting on Pinata, but I saw this video. It's like 5 minutes long, but I feel like it'll be a good conversation starter for today. So let's do this video. We'll talk about it. We'll take care of our sponsors. And by that time, Pinata should be here, and he'll update us on the Trump trial and everything going on with that and what the media is doing. But take a listen to this. This is a Young Turks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Young Turks interviewing a pastor, and the back and forth I thought was pretty good. So yeah, let's start with this.
Say it's a cult. It's a cult of personality, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that before, but always.
And I have people here, Pastor, who are saying to me that they would take a bullet for Donald Trump. He's not the president. He's not, you know, that's unusual. You don't hear that a lot.
This is what has happened. all of the atrocities, the calamities, the whole debacle at the border, everything now is causing people to awaken to what America is really all about. So this awakening now is taking on personal interests. So every community now is saying, I got something to lose in this if we don't stand together. And so that's what we're seeing. When a person says that, that's a personal interest. He's saying, yeah, and everybody's not willing to die for anybody. But there are some who will say it's that cause right now. That's what Patrick Henry said. Give me liberty or give me death. And now that we're hearing it again, it sounds to some foreign, but this is in the roots of this country. This is what America's all about. These men came from farmers and business people, and most of them were just wanting things to be better, who fought for this nation back in 1776.
You're talking about awakening. Part of awakening is woke, right? People talking about woke. What does that mean to you? What does the word woke mean?
Well, woke is a false idea of awakening. It does everything opposite of awakening, which is a revival, which comes from a spiritual stirring of one's consciousness. And so if you have a lot of dirt, in your mind, a lot of diluted or polluted things, what a revival does is shake the trees again so that now you can begin to see clearly. But what woke does, woke gives a false assimilation of action. Okay, I'm woke. Well, it doesn't give action.
Define it. What is woke?
It tells you what cannot work, what will not work in a people of community.
Right, but tell me what it is, though.
If I say I'm a man, and then I say all of a sudden I identify as a woman, that's woke. It gives demonstration of the total opposite of freedom, liberty, consciousness, all of those things. Woke actually shuts down. So it pretends its eyes are open, but their eyes are really asleep. And so when a person says that illegal immigration is cool, that's woke.
Why is that woke?
It's woke because we know a nation cannot survive off of bringing lottie-dottie, I'm being crazy now, but lottie-dottie and everybody into the country. A nation cannot remain sovereign if it keeps its borders open. And why do we expect America to do it when all these other nations, other places, close and shut their borders?
Isn't feeding you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry, isn't that both a part of someone of the cloth as well as part of the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah, but it's in the context of righteousness. A nation that is not lifted up, if it is exalted, it says righteousness exalts a nation. What does that mean? It means doing things right, or the right way, or God's way of doing things. But sin is a reproach to any people. So if I say, give me your poor, give me your foreign, it was under the understanding of when you come in, you have to become us.
Okay, but who defines sin, right? I mean, for some people, it's a sin to build a wall and say you can't come over it. To some people, it's a sin to let that person in without checking their papers and giving them due process. I mean, who's to define it?
Well, I went to that class. God defines what sin is. And so as a Christian nation, a Christian Judeo nation, we cannot lose our roots in that, in understanding that the word of God is the infallible word of doctrine and truth.
What if you're a Muslim in this country? What if you're an atheist? What if you're a Jew? What if you are Sikh or Hindu? One's precepts of religion are different than yours, different than mine, different than hers.
Well, this is what I love about this nation. Our founding fathers put together what is called the U.S. Constitution, the First Amendment, the freedom of what? Religion. It did that without what? Wanting people to assimilate into a religion that controlled the people. And this nation was always designed to evangelize, even those that don't agree with us. And so disagreement does not mean disunity. It just means an opportunity for us to come together. That's why it's called a more perfect union. Our founding fathers knew, like Benjamin Franklin came out of the halls of Philly, Constitutional Hall, and the young lady asked him, what do we got here? He says, daughter, a republic if we can keep it. And so the Constitution was not written for immoral, unjust people. The Constitution was written for moral, spiritual people who could discern the times and the seasons through the Word of God.
I love that clip, guys. I think
yes,
he hits it on the head in so many levels. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
No, he's absolutely right. And lo and behold, we actually have a perfect example. If you got a couple seconds to play this clip, let me drop it in the chat here
Yeah.
from Twitter. This is woke. This is the modern day woke. This is what it sounds and looks like. This is absolutely insane, dude.
All right, let's see what we got here.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here? I was more educated. I'm not either. I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU's committed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
And
That's fantastic.
So they're thrill
I
seekers.
don't know why I'm here.
Just random
I'm
thrill
woke, though.
seekers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
that's exactly what he was talking about. He said, like, you're giving this virtue signal that you're so aware of what is going on, right? And then once the eyes are on and somebody points a microphone in your face and says, "What are you doing here? What's so terrible that you're here protesting?" And you say, "Well, I don't know. It's just the mob came down and they said there was lots of cops and it might be dangerous, so I showed up and I was at this other protest." It's insane, man. It's just insane.
How these
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
nightclubs, kids, nightclubs. Go back to the nightclubs. Get your angst out on the dance floor, and be edgy. Light a cigarette while you're dancing, and let people yell at you. It's fun. Just do it. Enough with the BS. Go back to being life. Life happens, and this ain't it. You're probably being arrested today. Probably don't know why. And now what? Now some more clout? What? So now you can get some more internet fame? Child, please, you could have been like starting a family, but no, you're doing this shit. Please, miss me. Okay, sorry.
No, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's just they want to be part of a scene. It's all it is. They have no idea why they're there. They want to be part of a scene. It's like you said, they're thrill seekers. Anyway, I want to get more into the this whole like takeover of these college campuses, these pro Hamas protests, and spend some time on that here in a little bit. But we got a sponsor to take care of first, and then Drunk Pinata joined us. And Pinata, if after I get back from sponsors, if you give us an update on what's going on with the Trump trial. I know there was an article about Alvin Bragg finally putting out there like what the underlying crime is that Donald Trump was supposedly covering up with his campaign payment violations or whatever. So if you can give us a rundown on that too, that would be another good thing to get into. But first, let's take care of our one and only sponsor this afternoon, which is Earth Garden Botanicals, earthgardenbotanicals.com. We love Jolene up in Montana. She runs this company. She's an herbalist and a health coach. She makes these wellness products. They are absolutely fantastic. Products like the white pine needle extract, a concentrate version of the white pine needle tea. I have been talking about this in combination with the elderberry tonic because I feel like the combination of the two could be really powerful to help get ahead of any kind of cold or virus you might be coming down with. The white pine needle extract is really good for helping your body detox, whereas the elderberry tonic is a really good boost to the immune system. So the combination of the two, I highly recommend keeping in the medicine cabinet there. Amazing CBD and hemp products as well. All the ingredients for them are locally and organically grown on small Montana farms, which is, makes really pure, potent, and high quality products like the CBD oil tinctures. They have flavors like orange ginger bergamot, huckleberry, cinnamon bliss, cherry, peppermint. Even the unflavored is super tasty because the product is so pure. I can't recommend it enough. There's CBD oil for pets, Delta 8 R&R nighttime gummies will help you get a good night's sleep. And the topical cream for your sore joints and muscles. It's an arnica salve that comes with or without CBD infused. Another really great product right there. Get the fire cider. The fire cider will clear your sinuses this time of year. I know many of you suffer from allergies, getting all stuffed up A few sips of fire cider can offer some very quick relief to that situation. I mentioned the sunshine and pine needle tea. There's a few other tea blends to choose from if you're a tea drinker. So give those a gander. And then, of course, the critter juice. It's an all-natural insect repellent. This stuff works really, really well. It smells good. It doesn't feel oily or gross on your skin like some other insect repellents do. In fact, I can't even tell I'm wearing it after a few minutes. Of course, except for the fact that I'm not getting bit. And you guys know how much I swear by this stuff. I keep one in my golf bag. I keep one in my truck. I keep one by the front door. I always have some of this stuff nearby because I get destroyed by mosquitoes. I don't know what it is about me, but they love me. And this stuff has been a major game changer for me during the summers. Anyway, all these products are available for 10% off when you use promo code 412 at checkout. So go to earthgardenbotanicals.com, load up a cart of these amazing products, use the discount code. Again, that's discount code 412 for your 10% off. And please say hi to Jolene for us. She loves you guys. She loves this community. And we so appreciate her sponsorship and support of the channel and everything we're doing here. So again, earthgardenbotanicals.com, promo code 412 to get you 10% off your order. So let's go ahead and jump over to Drunk Pinata. First of all, how you doing today, man? I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday, and I would love an update on some of the stuff coming out with this hush money trial, because I was able to tune into like 15 minutes or so of your show, and you were having a good chuckle over some of the media coverage of it.
Yeah, so for them making fun of the National Enquirer of being like a gossip rag, they sure can't shut the fuck up about gagging and peckers. So, so the whole big thing yesterday was just, oh my gosh, the judge said, you're losing credibility in my court, mister. And so, but that's all they say. They just, oh, you've lost credibility. Okay. But the problem is he says it in front of the judge. You got Alina Habba going out there in Trump's defense on some of the other networks saying that, this is the same tactic they used against her in the E. Jean Carroll civil litigation, where they say, don't you know how to file your evidence, Miss Habba? And so it's clear that these judges are trying to influence the jury by trying to make it look like that the Trump's lawyers are not competent, which they are. I mean, these people, it's the same pattern. They were so prestigious, they were so above board, but then they took Trump as a client, and then now they're just horrible people. Just the same pattern over and over again. So what happened was, during a sidebar talking about whether or not they could introduce certain things or talk about certain things, they actually brought it in what that second underlying crime. Because if you guys remember, there was 3 state crimes, statutes, and 1 federal statute. And they said, well, you don't have to tell you what the second one is that bumps this misdemeanor for bookkeeping. Which again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that calling something legal expenses for paying a lawyer seems to be covered. But okay, outside of the statute of limitations, misdemeanor. Now, the second crime supposedly is this, what they're calling. Hang on, I have my notes here. Oh man, I lost. Okay, it is a New York statute. Oh, come on, really? Hang on, there it is. Just share screen. All right, section 17-152. Conspiracy to promote or prevent election. Now, you guys realize now, on Monday, what were they saying? It was a criminal conspiracy. Conspiracy. They kept saying that over and over. Then they kept saying there was a scheme, a catch and kill scheme. Why? Because they needed to have this whole thing be somewhat of a conspiracy, because they're trying to stretch it into this thing here. Now, the problem with this is that it says you can't, I'll read it verbatim so you guys can hear it. Conspiracy to promote or prevent election. Any 2 or more persons who conspire to promote and prevent the election of any person to a public office by unlawful means, and which conspiracy is acted upon by 1 or more parties thereto, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So even the second thing, underlying thing, is still a misdemeanor. Now, I'm not quite sure how that bumps it up to a felony. I guess in New York state law, they say, well, if you intended to do both of these, well, then we can raise it to a felony. The problem here is unlawful means. They've already admitted in all their news coverage, and even in the trial itself, that paying off people for non-disclosure agreements is in itself not illegal. So if they had a scheme to do something that was not illegal, they don't have unlawful means, which means they don't have the second thing. And so, and even if it did, this is a state law, meaning it pertains to state elections, state offices. It doesn't have anything to do with federal elections. And then the federal the FEC had already looked at this thing. It's not even so the only thing they really have that you have to be able to the hurdle that they have to climb is understanding why they got Michael Cohen to plead guilty to a campaign finance contribution that was illegal. In this particular area, there was a for that I don't know if it's the state or federal statute for this. I'm assuming I guess it's federal because they charge them federally. It's $2,700. And so obviously $130,000 is more than that. So he pled guilty to that. Now they initially opened up the investigation when this story was coming out in 2018. By July, they raided his office. You guys remember that? It was like the attorney-client privileges mean nothing anymore. Trump was tweeting that out like crazy, talking about that. Then by August, he's charged. By December, he pled out. And then by February of the next year, 2019, he's out there flipping his story, reversing everything he published with his lawyers, saying that Trump was never involved, and then now saying he was intimately involved, and it was definitely a repayment. And then we have the from the congressional hearings, all the checks up there on the projector screen, and the sensationalized story. So by mid-year of 2019, you had Bill Barr that was in after Whitaker was the acting attorney general after Trump fired Sessions. Barr looks into the case and says, "Look, this seems as though you charged Cohen that may have been political." Now it was the initial predicate for them opening the investigation was based on an illegal campaign contribution. That was how they started. So obviously, if they're going to have him plead out, they need to have, that be shown to have that he violated that. They didn't actually show it. They just said that he violated it, but they didn't say. But here's the thing. He didn't actually contribute to the campaign. This money was not paid to the campaign, and it wasn't something that the campaign would have paid for, save for Cohen paying. So it wasn't an in-kind donation whatsoever. So Bill Barr looks at it and says, "Why are you going after these other people?" And as a matter of fact, why did he even plead guilty? Because there was 8 counts. He had wire fraud, bank fraud, and in this campaign election finance or contribution. They pled guilty. 8 counts in total. So he was looking at some serious time, probably 5 to 10 years is my guess, based on what we've seen previously. And it's very clear to me that he pled out and took the hit on the election part and said it was a campaign contribution just so they continued to investigate. And then they were trying to investigate Trump during his term because this would be something they would bring up during the election year. In case the Mueller report didn't work out, which it didn't, then they had to resort to after Bill Barr squashed this thing. He says, "Look, this is entirely political. You have to stop everything right now." And this is where they say Bill Barr was politically motivated or within the DOJ, even though it's always the opposite, right? They were the ones politically motivated working within the DOJ to try to go after Trump for supposed this campaign contribution, which they said at the direction of. This is all the individual one stuff. So that's where they're at. That's the hurdle that they have to climb is they need to ask Cohen, did you plead this on did they make you do this? And so because it's clearly that he did not need to plead that. And Bill Barr, even in interviews this recently in the last week, has said so that what they did with Cohen, especially the campaign finance or the campaign contribution, should not have happened. It was a misapplication of the law, he says. So
Well,
they don't have a second crime, and if they did, it doesn't apply to federal elections. But what they're alleging is unlawful. They say is not illegal. So they keep saying it over and over. Today's coverage, especially when I was going over my show, I was waiting. They're like they say, okay, well here's the crime, and they go, well they can't do this because it's unlawful. I'm like, but you didn't say what was unlawful. They're talking in circles. They're hoping that the within the media sphere they're going to repeat it enough times that somehow quote election interference is somehow criminal, which it's not. And then they're also trying to pretend as though the National Enquirer was more powerful and more persuasive and positive coverage towards Trump and negative towards everybody else that he, whatever, Ted Cruz, Hillary Clinton, whoever, Ben Carson, I believe, is another one that they're bringing up, that somehow the National Enquirer was more powerful and more positive to overcome all of the rest of the mainstream news media during 2016. Now, you guys remember this. It's the same thing the way it is now. You really you want me to believe that National Enquirer, one outlet, is more powerful than the rest of the media apparatus in its entirety? Come on. But that's what they're saying.
I always look at the National Enquirer like it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like you see the stuff that's on the front of it, and you're like, haha, that's meant to, you know what I mean? Like that's meant to make you laugh type thing. I don't think I've ever taken the National Enquirer seriously. I'm just saying.
Bad
Oh
boy
my
got Donald
goodness.
Trump elected. That's bad boy colluded with Putin.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get
Old
Donald
Nina
Trump.
couldn't get enough of saying pecker this morning on Morning Joe. I tell you what, we were watching that live this morning. They were having a grand old time saying pecker. Ay, ay, ay.
So there you go. That's where they're at.
It's
They have nothing. Is basically where we're at.
It's
actually even worse. It's actually even worse than I thought it was going to be. It's like of them having nothing, because I thought, okay, maybe there's something. No, they literally have nothing.
No wonder David Bragg wanted nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? He wanted nothing to do with this.
that's
Oh man.
that's something else, man. Especially the whole National Enquirer thing. I mean, we sit here and we watch
Alvin Bragg. Yeah.
every major news station, every major news network out there work to promote negative stories about Donald Trump and help his opponents. I mean, you could go back to 2020 and just look at the Hunter Biden laptop thing. There was, I mean, a huge effort to keep that out of the news and not talk about it. The fact that they're honing in on the National Enquirer in 2016 is just the height of hypocrisy and irony, and this, yeah, the whole thing is so absurd. Do you guys have anything else on the Trump trial that you want to talk about or bring up, or any other insight? Because I don't have anything else myself, but I mean it's an important topic going on right now. So Kevin, 45-1 or Feisty, good to see you, Feisty. If you want to pop in here as well on this topic, please.
I do. I am concerned that when Trump was president, the social media silenced him on many different platforms, and the mainstream media silenced him. And now, as he is running to be president again, the mainstream media, along with the platforms of publishers of social media, are again silencing him. The I don't want to go off topic. I'm going to leave it at that for a moment, because this kind of ties into this whole college thing, this whole university thing going on right now, about who's being silenced and which narratives are being promoted. And I'm just seeing some very interesting angles and degrees of separation being replayed, except this time the people who were sitting on their butts screaming at the sky when Trump got elected are screaming about something completely different. And I think this is the red pill moment.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Feisty, say hello. It's good to see you.
Hi, everybody. How are you all doing? It's good to see you too. I just got home from picking my kids up from school.
Very cool. We're glad you could
Yeah.
join us. Did you have any thoughts on the Trump trial?
I haven't been watching it too terribly much, to be honest, because like for me, all it is really is it's just solidifying his reelection. You know what I mean? Because people are starting to see, what's going on, and the fact that these other idiots have gotten away with all of this stuff, and yet they're coming after Trump for the same stuff. Like it's just it's just a show. It's not going to go anywhere, as we've seen. They've tried taking his properties, that hasn't worked. It's just a show.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is a show. It is 100% just a smear campaign using the legal and court system to legitimize the propaganda they're putting out there in hopes to turn people.
Well, I mean, it's not enough. Kind of to Kevin's point, it's not enough to just ban him from speaking on social media now, because now he's got his own platform where lots of people go and listen to what he has to say. So now they have to use the judicial system to try to shut him up. So you want to talk about actual election interference? Like, you're preventing the guy from campaigning. You're preventing him from sharing news headlines out because it might mention somebody involved in the case. Like you want to fine him $1,000 every time he shares a news story that has something in it you don't like. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead, Kevin.
May I just say, this is unrelated, but currently very interesting. Nancy Pelosi is saying some of these Palestinian protesters, these pro-Palestinian protesters, are connected to Russia. And I'm like, are you saying these same students who were Slava Ukraini, not like, but like for the past couple of years, are now suddenly Russian advocates? Nancy, you drunk
Nancy,
bitch, you.
Nancy said we should just take Hamas's word for it too, though. So with the casualty count, so I think she's had a little too much to drink, Kevin.
It's like the goalposts are now being like, they're not just moving, they're on Roombas. These goalposts
They're
are
just
on Roombas
shifting
and
around in
they're
every direction.
just randomly making pathways.
I love that. They're on Roombas. No, I mean you're absolutely right. So let's talk about, unless Pinata, is there anything else that we should know about the trial before I get away from that?
No, I mean that's it. It's going to be interesting, especially in cross examination, where they
Yeah,
go. And I think that based upon now that we kind of have seen them lay the propaganda out, in the narrative, and marrying that with what they had been saying about the case in general, it's pretty clear where they're going, and they have nothing. So I actually, when it started, I thought, okay, we're probably going with a hung jury. I think it's possible and on the table for them to unanimously say that he's not guilty.
that bad in a Manhattan jury.
It's gonna come down to the jury instructions, and that
I
we already
can't
know the
wait.
judge has got a problem, with Trump
Yeah,
when it comes there. So it's gonna come down to that, in my opinion.
man, that
If
would be.
the jury instructions the way that they should be, I put it on the table that he could be acquitted fully.
If he gets acquitted fully in this case, I might reinstall my cable just to watch the meltdown like for 24
I'm
Oh,
not
hours.
I
promising anything.
can't
I'm
wait.
just saying that I thought it was impossible, but after seeing that really what their case is, and then how they've laid out the propaganda over the past year since then, and that how they've done nothing to even try to figure out how to make a case out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. But again, I'm thinking long term, pick an appeal, but that's where I'm at currently. We'll see what happens as they bring in more people.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's talk about this whole issue with these protesters on the college campuses. There's a lot a lot of different angles to break this down. I'll pull this up just as a little um, background scenery here. So Charlie Kirk tweeting, breaking pro-Hamas protesters have executed a takeover of Harvard Yard. 2024's version of BLM is aimed squarely at Joe Biden and the elite left. The problem isn't going anywhere for the Democrats. And I find this so interesting because this is clearly being funded by like Soros types, organized by Soros types. It seems to be like a new summer of love situation setting up,
Exactly.
which is interesting because we know that's like part of, right, like color revolutions and whatnot, is these protests, the violence in the streets. But this is oddly enough dividing the Democrat base. This is hurting Democrats far more than it's hurting Republicans. So I don't fully understand because it seems to be organized by people that wouldn't want Donald Trump in office, yet their actions and the things they're pushing are driving many voters away from voting Democrat or making a protest vote. Like you look at places like Detroit and Dearborn, Michigan, that there's areas in Minnesota that have very heavily Muslim populations. These people aren't.
Yes.
Yeah, like this is a very interesting issue. So I'm really curious, like what you guys all think about this. What's the goal here? Why are they continuing to drive this? Why are they targeting the college campuses the way they are? And I mean, it seems like they're they're really hurting their own election prospects coming in November, unless there's a whole nother shoe to drop here that I don't see coming that's going to somehow ignite.
I think that's the point.
Yes.
I think that's the point, to disenfranchise people and make them feel hopeless, to crush their spirits while using very ignorant youth. Many of them probably are just there for, as we saw from earlier's video, thrill seeking. And then today, with the police, and the arrests and everything, the victim points, you want to talk about the clout which can be chased if you're one of those victims. Oh, you can cash in for 15 minutes on that. But as far as like the main point of like, what point does it serve? Destabilization. I mean, when it comes down to it, they're trying to destabilize Western culture from not only the United States, but also in Europe or any Western cultured civilization. They're trying to dismantle it because Western culture works. Unfortunately, you can't monopolize Western culture because we have that certain ability to defend what we consider valuable and such. It doesn't work if you want to bring in Marxism and communism so much. So here these kids go, putting up their petrochemical extracted nylon tents and fiberglass with all their, I don't know, designer clothing and Walmart bags, which is a freaking dichotomy of terms if I've ever heard. I've never seen freaking Gucci and Walmart in the same person, but here we go, I guess.
It's like a so they're not getting them to go along exactly with with the Palestinian conflict. You're getting them to sympathize with them without actually living their culture. So you get the same sort of destabilization from them supporting it, but not necessarily being like living
To what ends, though, I guess is my question.
for destabilization. Exactly what Kevin was saying.
Yep, it's institutions, right? So think
They're
about
getting
it.
us to do they're getting us to do the same balkanization that they were driving with the Gaza Strip. They're trying to push desperation to a point, cause a broader conflict, so they can come in and say, "Well, we have to clean this up now." And of course, and then they get the change, the large change that they want, based on the problem. It's the problem reaction solution. That's what I see here.
Yep, and it plays into that video that I had you play, Adel. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about somebody that has no idea what the hell they're talking about, but they were told, I need to come down and go to this school and support them in their protest, and I don't know why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like exactly. They're not going to live that lifestyle. They're going to expect, the American lives, the American freedoms and liberties and prosperity that they have, right? But while being in a crowd that's screaming death to America, you know what I mean? But pay off my college debt first. You know what I mean? Like death to America, but make sure my student loans get paid off first. It's ridiculous. And as far as the destabilization goes, if you really think about it, this has been a systematic destruction of the trust in every type of institution that exists in Western culture. You got the monetary system, the medical system, local, state, and federal government, now the education. You know what I mean? Like they have taken the trust, the judicial system, whatever. They've taken it all and just completely kneecapped it, because that type of destabilization allows an alternative to come in, right? It allows pressure from the top to come down and say, "Oh, now we got to contain this," or outside pressure say, "Now we got to contain this." And really, the education portion of it was the last one. We've known that colleges have been sick for a long time. We've been saying it's indoctrination centers. And now it's like boiling over. And now everybody is seeing that something has to happen.
Yeah, you're seeing the physical from the previously. Just we understood that they had the ideology of this, but now they're actually actions that go along with it. And Kevin, I believe we have seen Gucci and Walmart bags before. Paris Hilton.
I don't care if anyone hates me. I love Paris Hilton. I love her so much. I want to put a warning right now. Now is not the time to take anything that we've recently talked about in the last 10 minutes and use any of those sentences and use them on X, because you will get blocked by several people, as I'm finding out right now, but not before they leave you some sort of snarky post in your replies and then immediately block you. Crazy.
Sounds about
Oh
right.
my. Oh, how salty. Okay.
I guess I understand, the destabilization of all these institutions. I guess it's the timing, guys, that I don't fully understand, like, what their strategy is. Like, they can't win Michigan without the Muslim vote. Minnesota becomes in play without the Muslim vote. Like, they rely so heavily on college students, and at least in the last midterms they sure did. If like, and I would understand this going on if Donald Trump was in office right now, seeking reelection, but they're doing this at a time when you have Joe Biden and the Democrats essentially in charge of the executive branch, a huge election coming up. I mean, they're protesting essentially against the actions of this government, right? So I feel like they're shooting like the destabilization is all well and good, but I mean, this is going to really hurt them in November, isn't it? Like, I guess I don't fully understand what they're thinking.
Well, if you destabilize a governing body, and if you were talking about Muslims in this case, I lived for a year in Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure Muslims don't want either Trump nor Biden nor anything that isn't very Islamic as what they read, because the faith of Islam does not take kindly to any other jurisdiction other than the edicts of Allah and Muhammad. So I'm just saying, I don't think that the Muslims, like the really devout Muslims, really care about who is running in the Western culture, because they don't want Western culture, they want their culture. And I'm not being racist or discriminatory or any stereotypes. That's just how Islam is. And when you have like if you've been in actual areas of Southwest Asia and you've actually lived in the culture, Western culture is not at all compatible with Islamic cultures.
Right.
So that's one thing that I would bring to light right there. So that's my participation as far as that goes.
That makes sense to me. I can understand that. I guess I would see a Democrat mindset being more easy to manipulate into achieving, like, resetting American culture than, if the GOP were in charge. Not that the GOP has done us any favors lately, and we'll talk about that too in a bit. But, like, I don't know. To me, it just seems antithetical to their short-term goals to be doing all this right now. But I get where you guys are coming from. And I got another article here I thought was kind of funny or interesting on the same topic. You have Google fires 50 pro-Palestinian employees protesting the company contract with Israel. CEO says company is no place for politics, which is fucking hysterical to me, considering the way they operate and index their search engine to be extremely political. I'll read a tiny bit of this here. Tech giant Google has ended the employment of over 50 employees who are protesting the company's cloud services contract with the nation of Israel with sit-ins and other disruptive tactics. 30 were fired last week, and at least 20 more were fired today. The protesters had previously been arrested while protesting on Google's work sites, including inside the CEO's office. Jane Chung, a spokesperson for the activist group No Tech for Apartheid, said Google was quashing dissent. No Tech for Apartheid claims some of those fired were mere bystanders during last Tuesday's protest at Google offices in New York and Sunnyvale, California, and not actively involved in the workplace activism. Protesters were criticizing the use of Google's technology in the Gaza conflict, where the Israeli government invaded the Gaza Strip in response to the October 7th terror attacks by Hamas upon Israeli citizens that took 1,200 lives. Hamas claims 34,000 Palestinian lives have been lost so far in the military response by Israel to the attacks. The proposed $1.2 billion project between Google and Israel is known as Project Nimbus. Project Nimbus operational details are not disclosed, but it's speculated that Google's AI tools could give the Israeli military capabilities such as facial detection, automated image categorization, object tracking, and sediment analysis. Sediment analysis, that's interesting. Google employees have been organizing sit-ins at company locations in New York and Sunnyvale, California. The protests have been organized by a group called No Tech for Apartheid, which has been active on the issue since 2021. But anyway, these people were fired for protesting. But I find it funny that Google's response is there's no place for politics at Google because
Well, I hope they fire Black George Washington.
Who's Black George Washington?
Their AI. Remember their AI. Whenever you'd put in like, give me a picture of George Washington, it was literally Black George Washington. No place for politics, but we're gonna play the race card every time you put in something into our AI. It's amazing.
So one of the funniest stories of the entire year. 1 second, Kevin. I'll throw it to you in 1 minute. Just speaking of that was if you typed in to show me a picture of the nuclear family, you would always get like a brown or mixed family, right? The only way you can get that AI to depict a white family was to say, show me a family eating fried chicken for dinner. And then it would give you a white family because it didn't want to depict the stereotype of, Black people eating fried chicken. So, I mean, that whole thing was so hilarious.
So were they darker skinned nuclear families? Like, did they have a mom and dad and the kids when they were being represented?
Yeah.
That's nice. You know what? That's nice though. That at least they know where their dad is. I mean, that's good.
Only an AI, right? No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. I figured it would at least bring up a video of Joe Biden eating chicken with a darker family. You know what I'm saying? That's
He
totally
didn't even
what he
eat
did.
chicken.
But
He got himself a burger. He's like,
oh, that's right. He did get a burger. That's
I don't want your guys'
culturally appropriate the fried chicken. So he bought the Black family fried chicken, and then he got himself a burger to appear not racist. And that's you can't make this shit up. I mean, and that just I think it goes to show like the complete lack of logic, common sense, or just any connection to reality that this woke culture. It's just built to collapse in on itself, because when you get so hyper focused on not offending everybody, you become incredibly offensive in your attempts to tiptoe around these things. But Kevin, you were going to say something a minute ago before I went into the.
I'm going to say two things, and I'm going to say if AI is constructing nuclear families of traditional, regardless of melanation and stuff like that, it's like if the AI is actually portraying nuclear families, I can get behind that. That's cool. That's cool in my thing. The other thing I had is as far as the Google and the firing of, they were pro-Hamas employees, correct? Like pro-Gaza?
Yeah.
If I were a Jewish investor, I'd definitely be giving Google my shekels. I'm just saying, it's a move that could really garner some more coins in Google's pockets. I'm just saying, it's a marketing strategy.
That is,
it lets people know where Google aligns.
So I think to your point about why are they doing this, I don't think that they have control of this. I think what you're seeing is the same thing with Putin seeing an opportunity to do something that Trump would not allow him to do. You're seeing the same thing in Israel. Trump would not allow what they're doing over there now. Yeah. So they'd see that this is their move that they have to make. So I would imagine, I'm surprised we haven't seen Taiwan yet, but who knows? Maybe that's still in there before it. Because my guess is you're going to have a lot of these world they want to make these big catalysts or big movements and whatever changes to the map and to the borders for these different countries abroad. They're trying to do this while Trump's not there.
Well, and that I totally understand. Again, my confusion comes when you have these Soros-funded and organized protests that divide the very party he's trying to use as a vehicle to defeat populism and nationalism in America.
Well, then now you're talking about ideology coming into more important than political strategy.
Yeah, I guess it's just interesting to me because I would think that this is the kind of thing that you would do while the other guy was in charge, right? And really create this issue for your enemies. But I mean, like I said, I think that this is really going to hurt Joe Biden's chances in states like Michigan, in states like Minnesota, is like the longest standing Democrat stronghold, but this is something that could really kind of flip that on its head. If they have a huge where's Ilhan from again?
You're talking about Minnesota or Somalia?
Somalia, yeah. There's a huge
yes.
Somalian, that sympathizes with Hamas and the Palestinians, which that whole the whole thing, like I said, still confusing to me. I understand destabilization and I understand the larger picture. Again, it's just like the short-term execution of this, the timing of it seems really poorly planned. And whatever, I'm here for it. I love seeing the left torn apart like this. They're usually so unified and so homogenous in their thinking and everything that they try to do. To see them so divided or to lose such a crucial part of their voting base, this close to an election is exciting to say the least.
At all.
But
that's like saying I'm happy that the people are evicted from the insane asylum and we placed them in a park and agitated them. Gee, at all.
What? It's entertaining to me. I like watching. I like watching these indoctrination camps, these colleges be ripped apart from the inside. I like watching the inmates destroy their asylum here. I mean, to me, it's great. If there's any institutions in this country that need to lose all credibility and be destabilized, it is the higher education, because I mean, it's already so politicized and corrupt and more of a detriment to this country than a positive, in my opinion. So, I mean,
that could explain why in Minnesota I'm seeing more and more billboards for students to leave high school and go into trade and go into not internships, but what are those when you go and you join like a master crafter and you start as do you know the word I'm going for?
Apprentice.
An apprenticeship. I'm seeing lots of billboards for apprenticeships. The Apprentice. Oh, for the people who are watching this right now, some of you are probably very triggered by that term right now. It's okay. Go get yourself a Snuggie, sit down, get some hot cocoa. You're going to be fine.
I mean, we do need more young people to get into the trades and do apprenticeships. Like there's that workforce is dwindling, like those people are going to be in very, very high demand in the next generation. We have way too many overeducated, indoctrinated people, not nearly enough people becoming plumbers, electricians, contractors, things like that. I don't know if you guys watch South Park, but they did an episode. It was like a movie almost, where like the new billionaires in the future are the plumbers and the contractors and the handymen, because this generation has no freaking clue how to do anything for themselves. Which I thought was a pretty good satire on that whole situation. But let's take a minute here, because we're at it's almost top of the hour. So I want to give everybody a chance to pop on over to pill.net for hour number 2. We'll be shutting down all of the other platforms. So Rumble, DLive, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, wherever you're watching, over on Twitter as well. We're going to be turning those off and going exclusively to pill.net. I've got links to the stream in the Rumble description below the video on Rumble. I'll put it in the live chat on Rumble as well. I'm going to throw it over on the DLive chat too, to make it super easy on you guys. If you can't get to those links for one reason or another, it's very easy to just go to pill.net on your browser Once you get there, you'll see all the live channels, the thumbnails, either at the top of the screen if you're on a mobile device, or on the left-hand side if you're watching on desktop, or you could just search 412 Productions. We are that black and gold thumbnail. Just click on it. It'll bring you right on in to the broadcast. And yeah, there you go. I'll play a little video here to break up the show. We'll come back on the other side. We'll officially shut down those platforms, say goodbye, and then we'll read your gold pill chats. A bunch have been piling up here since the start, so I want to address those. And then I've got a bunch of stuff for the second half of today's show to get into. So we'll be right back.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@Pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on Pill.net. Free speech lives here.
Okay.
All right, we are back. Thank you. Big thank you to everyone who has come on over to Pill.net for the second half of today's show. Again, that link is in the live chat on Rumble and DLive. It's also in the Rumble description, or just go to Pill.net and find us at 412 Productions over there. We've got another hour of content for you all. If you're not going to be joining us, no worries. I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be joined by my very good friends, Frankie Val of the Quite Frankly Show and Zach Payne of Red Pill 78 for Taking It Back. Will be syndicated by our friends over on Badlands Media. So look forward to seeing you guys then. But like I said, we've still got another hour of content here on Pill.net. So get on over there and come say hi to us in the comfy bunker. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.